Hi, good morning, everyone. So, congrats on finishing the midterm. So, today is uh day 13 of Math 133. So today we're going to be covering the Chapter 7 review. So day 13 and 14 is if we scroll up here to our weekly discussion boards. I added, I moved a few things around for uh, the discussion board. So week 7, if you are not in the class, meaning you're listening to this on the recording, you'll need to make sure that if you can't come Monday or Wednesday, that you fill in uh, the week 7 discussion board. So, for everyone on the call, you're here. You don't need to do that. So, thanks for coming to class. So, um, I marked that as due July 5th. I want everyone to have enjoy their July 4th holiday off. So, um, if you can't get it done before Friday, you have another day. So, um, so today is Chapter 7 review. I've moved a few things around for the upcoming schedule. I still have a little more rearranging to do. You can see that I have nothing planned for day 16, so I will get all of that mixed around. But that doesn't affect the lecture notes. So if you uh, are looking ahead and watching the lecture note videos ahead of time, that's great. Keep doing that. Those due dates are not changing. It's really just the worksheets that I'm uh, mixing around. So, um, by the way, if you haven't watched the lecture notes for chapter 7, so 7-1, 7-2, 7-3, those are due today, so you still have time. We are going to be going over the chapter 7 review today, so that material is the material that we're going to be using. So make sure you watch those. And then the chapter 8 lecture notes, those are assigned today and due on Wednesday. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's jump into the chapter 7 review. And just like most of our worksheets, I'm going to give you some big hints on how to do these, and then we'll work on them together. Um, and then, yeah, so should be able to get done a little early today. So sorry about the lighting in my room. The main light in here went out, so I just have a lamp. So hopefully everybody can see what I've got going on here on the screen. So, uh, Chapter 7 review. This is on page 420 in your course pack. Page 420. Okay. All right. So, random sample. So you can find information about this and how to tell if it's a normal curve in on page 163 in your course pack. Um, yeah, page 151 also has some information about uh, the normal curves. So, um, which graph has the smallest mean? So, mean is one of the ways that we measure the center. Okay. There are three ways that we measure center: mean, median, and mode. So, when we're looking at the graphs, so like here is the center of A right here. That's where the mean is. Okay. Which curve has the smallest standard deviation? Standard deviation is measuring spread. Okay. So spread is how wide things are. Okay. Page 421. Find the following for the standard normal curve. A standard normal curve is a special normal curve where uh, the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. Okay. It is our Z curve. Okay. What I mean by that is when we calculate Z scores, all we're doing is we are measuring things on the standard curve, the standard normal curve. Okay. Okay, so for each part, shade and label. So you're going to shade part of these. It's going to look something like this, where you're shading over here, or you're shading over here. Okay. Um, and then going to need to use StatCrunch for this. Okay. So for example, the probability that Z is above negative 0.36. So above means greater than or equal to. So right here is 0, correct? Okay. So negative 0.36 is below that, around here. Okay. So we're going to shade everything above that. Okay. And then, so this one, you'll need to find probability Z is greater than or equal to negative 0.36. And then you'll need StatCrunch for this part. Okay. Percentile. Percentile is always measuring below or equal to. Okay. So when we say percentile, like if I was asking for P25, P25 is our first quartile. That's everything at 25% or below. Okay. So since we're doing percentile, we're doing less than or equal to. Okay. So if here's 0, my z-score of 2 would be way out here at 2.15. And I'd be shading all this. Okay. So there's a tiny little part that's not shaded. Okay. Okay. So now this is going to give me a probability when I do this in StatCrunch. So you're going to have to take that probability and change it into a percentile. So it's probably not P25. Looking at this, like that's a lot shaded here. So everything, if I shade everything, I get 100%. And I know that a z-score of 2 past that is 2.5%. So I'm probably going to have a pretty high probability here. Okay, somewhere in the high 90s. So, all right. Um, the z scores. So we're doing scores. So that means that in StatCrunch, you're going to want to click between. Okay. All right. Find the z-score that corresponds to the third quartile. So uh, quartile is similar to percentile, right? And we said percentile, we're doing less than or equal to. Okay. So which percentile is the third quartile? So that's a question for you guys. The third quartile is which percentile? Does anyone know? Does anyone remember? Drop it in the chat for me. 75. You got it. Okay. All right. Um, let's see. So the standard normal curve has areas shaded and labeled. Fill in the three missing values. Okay, so A1, A3, and Z. Okay. So all of this all together is 100%, right? So these three numbers here, this A1 is measuring the shaded part right here. This A2 is measuring the not shaded part, and this A3 is measuring this shaded part. So these three numbers together should add up to 100%. Okay. And then this guy right here, so here's 0. Uh, this Z-score is a positive number. You can notice that this is below, so this is going to be a negative number. Okay. Yeah. So do these each by themselves. So I would start with A3. Okay. Here's your Z. Find the probability that you have a Z-score higher than 1.237. Okay. So I would start here first. And then, because once you have that, you know that these add up to 100%. So you can find this one. And then from there, find the Z-score. Okay. So I would do this one first, do this one second. You should be able to find this one third. Okay. All right. Next page, page 422. Okay. Uh, The amount of water Americans drank annually was normally distributed with a mean of 23.2 and a standard deviation of 2.7 gallons. So this is not the standard normal curve because you'll notice that the mean isn't starting at 0. Okay. It's at 23.2. Okay. Um, that's okay. We can still do the same kind of thing. So again, A1 plus A2 plus A3, those add up to 100%. Okay. So once you know two of these, you know one of them. Once you know one more, you'll be able to find the third one. Okay. So, by the way, if you're not sure what to do here, page 235, number 3, and number 4. Okay. Page 235 is our yellow uh, exam notes packet. Okay. So starting looking at what's going on with chapter 7 and how do we do things. So this is all about StatCrunch. So if I want to, find a z-score that's less than, or if I want to find a z-score with all these different things. So number 3 and number 4 are going to be helpful for this one. Okay. All right. So let's see. Uh, Provide two interpretations of X2 and A3 in the context of the situation. One using proportion, one using probability, give units. So when we say in the context of the situation, I need uh, some kind of direction word. Okay. So your answer needs to have something like more or less or between in it. Okay. So the answer is going to look something like, so for proportion, so we want to do this using one proportion, one probability. So we're going to actually answer this question twice. Okay. Proportion blank percent of all Americans drank something, something, something. Okay. So if we were doing probability, then we would say if we select a random American, the chances, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you fill in the rest. Okay, one more page, and we'll actually jump in and start working on stuff. Okay. Average daily. So, average daily jail population in the US in 2018 was normally distributed with a mean of this. By the way, so there's a comma here. Okay. Don't use a comma in StatCrunch. Okay. So comma means something else in StatCrunch. Okay. Whenever I am reporting with, a company or at my job, I always make sure that I'm putting commas in front of all of my, uh, any number that's over 1,000. I usually will put a comma. So when you put it in StatCrunch, though, you need to make sure it's not. Okay. Okay. So mean, standard deviation, uh, label and shade appropriately. Um, okay. So P of X is less than 650,000. Okay. Give four decimal places. So we want to find the probability that a specific day or a random day has less than 650,000. Um, so whenever we say, so here we say interpret again, we need a direction word. Okay. More, less, between. Okay. So probability that X is less than or equal to 650,000 equals, so you'll do StatCrunch, find that. Okay. For the interpret part, it's that same number, percent of all, sorry, percent of the days the US jail population. And then here's where you need to put in your direction word. Okay. Is greater than, less than, in between. Okay. Find the symmetric X values depicted in the graph. So these are symmetric. Okay, so these are the same. Interpret again. So again, you need a direction word here. Okay. Round to the nearest whole number. So we're not going to do three decimal digits for this part. Okay. Um, all right. Suppose there is a 20% chance that more than means greater than, which means you're shading to the right. Okay. And again, we'll just do whole numbers for this part. Okay. Okay. So that's all the hints I'm going to give. So those of you on the call, we're going to stay on. We're going to answer these questions. Those of you on the recording, uh, you can always reach out if you get stuck on anything. But yeah, so